Your Saturday, February 8th in the NBA. We've got an 11-game NBA slate. I've got two of my best bets in this video. You already know we're on a 6-0 heater right now, 2-0 sweep in yesterday's video. Let's get right to the recap, and then we're jumping right in because we are hot. Like I said, a little 2-0 sweep. If you've been tailing right now, hey, up 3.2 units for Friday. VIP, another little banger. A little plus odds there on Nick Richards double-double. Got it. And then the Hornets, I already knew the Spurs. That was too big of a line for the week. Up 5.4 units for the year, man. Right around that 10-unit mark. Let's keep on stacking to 2025. Let's get into this slate, man. Let's stop wasting any more time. I'm hyped up, man. If you can't tell, it's Saturday. It's going to be a good day no matter what. Everybody's off work. Let's dive into this slate, man. Houston Rockets versus the Dallas Mavs here. This is probably one of the games I looked at the fewest today. Like I said, I do have two best bets. One of them is a player prop. Another is a total in a game. I got a lot of heavy leans today, so pay attention to the verbiage that I'm telling you in today's video, man. But hey, Anthony Davis looks like he's going to be finally starting here for the Mavs. The Mavs are favored here. I understand why. I feel like Houston kind of been slipping as of late. This is kind of what they did last year, man. Last year they started off really, really hot and then kind of like stumbled in the middle of the year here. They're kind of getting a little banged up with injuries. Missing Fred VanVleet seems to be a pretty big injury for them. When he's out, it's like they need kind of that like veteran presence on the court, and right now they just kind of don't have it. So I am leaning the Mavs in this game. I don't know if I love the spread, but I am leaning the Mavs here. Looking at some player props, I mean, what do you expect AD to do? I think AD has a pretty decent game here. But like I said, not a game that I looked at a lot of player props in. I'm definitely not really messing with Daniel Gafford. I think with AD there, I mean, Daniel Gafford could still catch plenty of lobs today. Maybe all the defensive focus goes on AD and, Gafford's still catching some lobs. But this is a game I want to kind of wait and see how this Mavs team plays. I kind of know what I think I expect how they're going to play. Wow. But in this game, lean the Mavs, but that's probably about my strongest lean. Total at 226. Probably leaning the under. I know AD is I think it just helps their defense out is really the big part. That Rockets defense already pretty decent. A 3 o'clock game, early start on a Saturday. I kind of lean the under there. I think AD could help out their defense, even though he is a good offensive force for them as well. So that's where I'm at with that game. Lean the Mavs, lean the under. Strongest leans, but also not very strong leans. Not my favorite game. Moving on, Indiana Pacers versus the LA Lakers here. Now, does look like LeBron is going to be out. Austin Reeves' point line today is insanely juiced, insanely just bumped up. If you're looking at Austin Reeves' points today, last time I saw it, it was at 27.5, maybe 26.5. That's ludicrous in my mind. Now, high usage players always crush their points or assists versus the Pacers. So this could easily be a spot here where Austin Reeves smacks his assists or smacks his points because he's probably going to be the highest usage guy today. Obviously, no Anthony Davis there anymore. No LeBron today. It seems like he's doubtful, if not going to be ruled out. So in this spot, man, I think I do lean the Pacers, but not a spot that I love the Pacers. Like, I'm not jumping up and down today. Just so excited to play the Pacers today with the Lakers having no LeBron. Now, obviously, I do lean the Pacers. They should win this game here with no LeBron. But Pacers on the road aren't my favorite team to back. So that's kind of my just personal vendetta against this Pacers team. On the road, man, not my favorite team. I pick and choose my spots with them. And today's just not a spot I'm really loving, even though seems like a decent one with no LeBron. So some guys to point out, Tyrese Haliburton, I did look at him today. He's had some okay games versus the Lakers. Seems like he's always flirting with a double-double, if not getting a double-double. But if you've been looking at Haliburton, I mean, Haliburton is inconsistent as hell this year. Points, inconsistent. Just inconsistent. He has games where he'll go on a stretch scoring 20 points 5 straight games, and then goes out there and puts up a zero ball. Goes out there and scores less than 10 points. So just don't love. It's not a guy I personally like betting. I think, honestly, RA would be my favorite play for Haliburton here, but still, even then, man, he's just not getting his assists. Also, does look like Mark Williams may be playing. I mean, there's just a lot of I don't really love it, man. I don't love this game. Mark Williams today, his point line looks like it's about 17, 18.5. I would lean his over. It does look like there's going to be no, I think he's going to be a vocal point on that offense, to be honest with you. And I think with no Miles Turner for the Pacers today, Miles Turner is out. Big injury there that I kind of forgot about. Mark Williams could eat today, but that's just still not a strong lean. Pascal Siakam, 21.5 points. I do lean a lot of more Pascal Siakam over PRA today and stuff like that. But still just not a game with no LeBron. Don't really love it. Just lean the Pacers. Total at 231. Probably still leaning the under. Seems like Pacers can't get there. And I still think that Lakers defense will be okay. I think Mark Williams will be a decent rim defender there. So not a lot of strong leans. Not my favorite game. Next game, Atlanta Hawks versus the Washington Wizards. Atlanta only 5-point favorites here, but guys, they are horrible on back-to-backs. I think I pointed out to you guys in the past, on back-to-backs, the Hawks are horrible, man. 4-6 against the spread on back-to-backs this year. Since 2023, Atlanta is 9-16 against the spread on back-to-backs. Now, Wizards, they do have Chris Middleton now. I mean, does Chris Middleton really move the needle for you that much? It's almost like, I keep on bringing up this game, but it's almost like the Knicks Raptors game from like a week ago or earlier this week, where they were like only 5.5-point favorites. They were on a back-to-back, and it kind of seemed like, hey, you're kind of disrespecting the Heat or the Knicks a little bit. That's kind of how I feel about the Hawks today. I feel like they're kind of disrespecting them, but also Wizards have beat the Hawks 3 of the last 4 games that they faced up. Always pretty high-scoring games. I mean, Hawks on a back-to-back, no DeAndre Hunter, like no Jalen Johnson. We all know this guy's going to be out. We don't know if any of these players for the Hawks are playing today. Karis LeVert, Terrence Mann, George Niang, Clint Capella, all those guys look like they're questionable or they're waiting on their trade to finalize something. So if those guys play, definitely lean the Hawks. 100% lean the Hawks. If those guys don't go and this line stays right around here, I still got to say I lean the Hawks, but it's just a game I am steering far away from today. For an 11-game slate, don't love it. I think there's just a lot of, there's 3 or 4 guys there for the Hawks that we don't know what's going on with them at the time that I'm recording this at about 9:30 a.m. right now, Eastern time. Wizards props with Chris Middleton there. I mean, what's he going to do? I mean, I don't know. I still feel like Jordan Poole going to get up a lot of shots. But both teams on a back-to-back, just a garbage game, man. I'm not going to waste any more time on it. So let's move right on to the next game. San Antonio Spurs versus Orlando Magic, and I do have a best bet in this game. I do have a best bet in this game with the Spurs Magic here. Now, Spurs on a back-to-back. Yesterday, I faded the Spurs and took the Hornets, and it was strictly off of that line. I thought there was no way the Spurs should be over 10-point favorites versus even the Wizards, like the Hornets. They really shouldn't be over 10-point favorites against anybody. I know De'Aaron Fox is a big guy there, huge guy, and a lot of people are loving the Spurs right now. They want to back the Spurs in any way they can. And today, I think you're going to see a lot of people on the Spurs today as an underdog. Now, they are on a back-to-back. Spurs on back-to-backs, nothing really crazy to jump up and down about. Like, there's no real trends or stats showing you that they're way worse on back-to-backs or way better. Like, the Spurs over the last 2 years, their team has been getting better. So you can't go off stats from past couple years or anything, which usually you shouldn't do a lot anyways. But in this spot, I mean, I'm kind of there with the public, probably thinking, hey, Spurs could get them here because that Magic team has been so inconsistent recently. Yes, they did beat the Kings. I told you guys I thought the Magic were going to beat the Kings in that game because I don't like that Zach LaVine trade for the Kings. But every other game, man, they can't even score 100 points. They can't even score 100 points. Now, I do got to say, Spurs, their defense is garbage. So let's just get to the first bet, man, and let's not waste any more time yapping about player props, because in this game, I just love the over. I love the over in this game. Over 218.5, I would play it up to about 220. That's about the highest I would play it. But over 218.5, if you're looking at Magic games that they're going way under, not even scoring 100 points, it's usually because they are shooting, no lie, 15 to 20, 25% from 3. Like, they can't hit anything from 3. The one game that they scored 130 points versus the Kings, they shot like 50% from 3. So when they shoot, hell, all I'm asking is 35% from 3. That's not even a crazy number to ask for, like 35% from 3. And I think that if they do that, this game's flying over. Because really, man, I think the Spurs are going to play at such a quick pace that you're not going to have to worry about the Spurs really putting up points, unless if you're worried about them being on a back-to-back. Magic defense at home is better at home than it is on the road. But it's more, I think, the Magic need to put up the points to contribute to the over more than anything. And the Spurs defense isn't really good. You just saw it yesterday. They allowed the Hornets to kind of just score pretty decent there. Spurs on the road in January and in the start of February on the road, they've been allowing opponents to shoot 40.1% from 3, which ranks 4th worst. So on the road in the month of January and the month of February so far, 4th worst defensive 3-point field goal percentage. And really, when the Magic go under, it's because they're not shooting great from 3. So against a really bad 3-point defense, I like this game to fly over, man. I still think Spurs going to play at a fast pace. I think Paolo has a good game. I think Franz has a good game. And I think some role players hit some threes for the Magic today. And I already think Wemby, De'Aaron Fox, all those guys are going to be playing so quick that they're still going to put up 110 points pretty easy. We just need the Magic to contribute. You feel me? So that is the first best bet. Love that over today. Moving right to the next game, man. Portland Trailblazers versus the Timberwolves here. I definitely lean the Timberwolves. I feel like Portland Tough spot here against Minnesota. I just kind of like the spot here for the Timberwolves at home. They've been Anthony Edwards going crazy. It's a spot where I do lean the Timberwolves pretty heavy here. I feel like that's kind of where just my head's at with it. I did look at some player props in this game. Naz Reid's been balling. I don't like Jeremy Grant on the road. Anthony Edwards been balling. DeAndre Ayton, don't love the spot versus Rudy Gobert. But hey, I just kind of went back and forth on some players there that, I don't really give a mother fluff about, because second best bet here. If you don't know where we're going, then you haven't been following the channel long enough, or even this last week or two. Rudy Gobert. They keep on disrespecting him, man. Rudy Gobert over 11.5 rebounds tonight versus the Trailblazers. Just his rebounds. I'm not taking anything else. Now, I did get this line at minus 115. Last night, this line was like minus 135. I stayed away. This morning, woke up minus 115. Now, almost every book is like minus 125, minus 130. I would play this up to about minus 130, minus 135 out of 11.5. If it gets bumped up to 12.5, just try to get it at plus 110, plus 115, plus 120. Or at that point, you could even take his double-double. I don't mind that. So that's kind of where I'm at with Rudy today. Love his rebounds over. Yesterday, or last game, went under versus the Rockets. Tough matchup. But right here, man, still just a one-unit play, even though Rudy's been a wagon for us. You never hear anybody say Gobert is a wagon for anybody, like I said last time we took him, and he has been. So just a one-unit play, but he's hit this 3 of 3 versus Ayton since Ayton joined the Trailblazers. You see the stats on the screen. He's had 15 rebounds in 23 minutes, 12 rebounds in 26 minutes, 15 in 37 minutes. Hey, I love the spot here versus this Trailblazers team. Yes, last game versus the Rockets, only got 10 rebounds. Didn't really hit this line rebounds-wise. We took his points plus rebounds last game, but had 21 rebound chances in that game versus the Rockets. 21 rebound chances. If he gets 21 rebound chances tonight, I bet he's grabbing 14, 15 boards. So love the spot here, and a little sprinkle on top here to make it a little bit sweeter. Tall centers, like 7-footers, Rudy Gobert over 7 foot. Tall centers have been hitting this line versus the Trailblazers. So I love the spot here. Lengthy guys, gonna get it done for us. Rudy Gobert, lengthy guy, pause, take it to the bank. Let's keep moving. Golden State Warriors at the Chicago Bulls. Golden State here, Jimmy Butler is back. He's going to play today, from what I'm seeing. At least there are props on the board. Now, this is a game. I like some Warriors guys if Jimmy wasn't here. Like, I would say, hey, I like Draymond Green over RA today a lot. Draymond Green over PRA a lot today versus the Bulls. Jimmy, I feel like, is going to kind of change that team a little bit with where the ball's being distributed, who's handling the ball at times. As a game, you got to kind of wait and see, man. With the trade, it's a play I got to wait and see. But a play that I don't mind with Draymond over PRA, over RA, man, that's a heavy lean. Just with Jimmy, I can't take it. You feel me? I can't take it with Jimmy there now. I just want to wait and see. Some Bulls props. Nikola Vucevic has been smacking this line versus Draymond Green and the Warriors. If you're looking at Nikola Vucevic game log versus Draymond Green when he's been in that lineup for the Warriors, holy Moses, man. I mean, Nikola Vucevic putting up 25, 30-point games easy. Last couple games, hasn't been great. I think it's a great buy low spot, but right now I'm even seeing on FanDuel plus 100. Now, if you go to DraftKings, minus 125. If you have heard me in my Discord, if you have heard me in my lives before, I always tell you guys, open up as many sports books as you can in your state and then search the books for the odds. On FanDuel, you can get Nikola Vucevic 18.5 points at plus 100. Doesn't that sound a lot better than on DraftKings at minus 125? I mean, I feel like most people know that, but I always tell you guys, anybody that is new to sports betting, try to open up as many sports books as you can. You don't even have to deposit a couple hundred into the account. Just put a little bit in there to where when you're ready to lock in a bet and you got your unit, you're ready to go. Hey, there you go. Another player for the Bulls here, Josh Giddey, at home, has been crushing his PRA, RA, everything, man. He has been a RA wagon at home. I can't do it right now. I just don't want to do it. Now, certain times of the year, I'll back Giddey. Right before All-Star break right now, I don't really love it. But his RA is a heavy lean. It is a heavy lean at 13.5. If it's a 14.5, easy stay away. But at home, it's mainly because at home, good spot against the Warriors. Not a bad spot, but mainly because of at home, and he's just been crushing that line at home. But honestly, I would probably rather have Nikola Vucevic over points or something like that, to be honest with you. But Warriors props, staying away, man. I think in this game, not even touching a spread. I'm not even going to give you a lean on the spread. I just don't want to. I don't even want to say I trust the Warriors yet. I don't. I mean, I don't. I feel like Jimmy's going to come out and play hard, but also, you've seen it with the Kings. adding some guys into their lineup. You saw it with the Spurs last game. Just adding some guys in the lineup doesn't automatically mean you're going to start winning games. So in this spot, I would probably say I even lean the Bulls at home. But that's also me wanting to kind of hate on the Warriors because I think they might have a little bit of a hiccup, take some games to kind of get used playing together. That's kind of how I'm feeling. But hey, we'll see. Next game, Oklahoma City Thunder versus the Memphis Grizzlies, man. In a spot here, tough game, close game, should be a great game. Probably one of the best games on the board to watch, just entertainment-wise. Oklahoma City Thunder on the road, been just a little worse on the road. They do have 6 losses on the road compared to 3 at home. You know their wagons at home. Grizzlies, way better at home than they are on the road. Their defense, way better at home than on the road. You can look last 10 games at home compared to last 10 on the road. Their defense is better at home. All year, defense better at home. So in this spot, it's still like, I think at this line at -2.5, I probably still lean the Thunder. But man, we have not seen Shea and Ja Morant go off or play versus each other in like forever, man. I feel like it's been a minute since they faced off versus one another, unless if I missed a game that they played recently. But I'm pretty sure it was like 2022 was the last time they faced each other. So Shea's gotten a lot better. Ja's gotten a lot better. Like, well, let's wait and see, man. I feel like in this spot, I still want to say I lean the Thunder. But Grizzlies at home are such a tough beat, man. They are really hard to beat at home. So a game that I'm thinking I'm just going to watch. I am just going to watch. No heavy player prop leans. I know that's going to be probably annoying to some people, but I did look at a couple people today. Lou Dort has had good games versus the Grizzlies in the past. Who else was there that I looked at today? Jaren Jackson rebounds. I do lean his over at 5.5 rebounds, but last I saw his rebounds was like at -140, -150 for his over 5.5. I don't want to lay that. But if it's 5.5 at like -125, -130, -110, I like Jaren Jackson over rebounds there. I lean more Zach Edey unders, more because I lean his unders mainly because of foul trouble. I just feel like I don't see Zach Edey going out here and dominating against the Thunder, even though Thunder have had a potential to not grab his. I mean, they're not the greatest rebounding team, even though they got size. But adding Chet there even adds more size. I lean more Edey unders because I think he can get in foul trouble today, and I think he plays less than 20 minutes, and that's kind of how I'm feeling. But not my favorite game, even though it's probably the most entertaining game besides for this next game, because the best team in the NBA, the Boston Celtics, going into New York, Madison Square Garden tonight, man. Drew Holiday out. That's a big loss for the Celtics. Big loss for the Celtics. If the Celtics had Drew Holiday, it'd be easy Celtics. For me, and I'm a Celtics fan, but it would be easy Celtics for me if Drew Holiday was playing. With no Drew Holiday, I almost just lean the over. But even then, I still think I am leaning the Celtics. Celtics off a loss this year against the spread are wagons. If you just take them every game this year off a loss, you're up so much money. It's insane. But they are 25-11 off a loss against the spread since 2023. If you're looking this year off a loss, 12-3 ATS against the spread off a loss. Now, Saturday night in New York, if they were fully healthy, you could convince me on probably taking New York here. You probably could. But I still think I lean the Celtics with no OG Anunoby, even with the Celtics being without Drew Holiday. Some player props here. Just going to point out some guys. I'm not on any of them. I don't really have a lot of strong leans. I did not look at every player in this game either. Jason Tatum, looked at him, hits his assist line pretty consistently versus the Knicks. Wouldn't mind his rebounds or RA today, but still not my favorite spot. Mikal Bridges always hits this point line at home. I don't know why it's at 16.5. I mean, with no OG Anunoby, I still lean his over there at 16.5, even though maybe a little bit of a tough spot versus Celtics. Kristaps Porzingis going up against New York, his old team, has always kind of hit this points line. Now going up against Cat, maybe that changes. But if you're looking off past game logs versus the Knicks, he's hit this. But also, Karl-Anthony Towns wasn't there. So take that however you will. I think Brunson could have a good game today. Jaylen Brown, kind of lean his over like PR. That's kind of where my head's at with Jaylen Brown. But a lot of guys I looked at, those are kind of some leans, but not any super strong leans, man, in that one. If both teams were fully healthy, I think I would honestly have a better read on this game. Like if Celtics had Drew Holiday, which I know Drew Holiday's not a huge guy to, I mean, to me he is. To me he's a solidified defender on the perimeter for the Celtics. Without him, you're playing Peyton Pritchard a little bit more, and that's just, I think that's just a recipe for an over, man. I could see an over there. And New York at home, I still think a little bit tough there. Still a little bit tough, but do lean the Celtics. But hey, no more waste. I'm just done talking about that game. Moving on. Denver Nuggets versus the Phoenix Suns here. Denver Nuggets versus the Phoenix Suns. In my opinion, I do lean Denver, but everyone is questionable for Denver. Every single player is questionable for Denver today. You got Jamal Murray, questionable. Michael Porter, questionable. Still have no Westbrook, but it does look like the guys that are definitely going to be in the lineup, Christian Brown, Nikola Jokic, Aaron Gordon. Those are like the guys that are 100% going to be in as of right now. I mean, unless if somebody just gets ruled out late here. But my strongest lean in this game is Devin Booker under 30.5 points. Just played an overtime game last night. 2 of the last 3 games the Suns have played in have been overtime games. Now you're traveling into Denver? I lied. You're not traveling into Denver. You're still at home. But still, a tough spot here. Now, this Nuggets defense is not my favorite to want to take an under on. I'm not going to lie. But I think a very high line. He has been smacking this. But if Bradley Beal and KD come back and Devin Booker's line is still at 30.5, I lean as under. Say Kevin Durant come back and Bradley Beal are both in the lineup tonight and say his point line drops to like 28, 27.5, stay away. Don't love it. But that's really honestly my strongest lean, and then also along with Nick Richards. I kind of like Nick Richards again. We took him yesterday. I always tell you guys, make sure to check the pinned comment or the description of the video. But the pinned comment had 2 plays yesterday added in there. If you guys listened to the video yesterday, you would have known that. But total PRAs today for Nick Richards, 18.5 again. I would play that again. I would play over 18.5. He's had some good games versus Jokic. Nuggets interior defense isn't great, but Suns on a back-to-back, it's maybe the one thing scaring you. But I think even if Nick Richards gets in foul trouble, he's still going to play 20 to 24 minutes. If you're looking at his game log so far at the Suns, he really hasn't had a lot of games playing 30 minutes. So even if he's in foul trouble against Jokic, 24 minutes, I think he could still have a decent game there. But I'm not backing it today. I don't love it as much today as I did yesterday. Yesterday, I took Nick Richards double-double at plus 350, cash it, and Nick Richards over PRA, easy cash, and didn't even have to sweat it. Today, not loving the spot as much, but I do kind of still lean it. Second to last game here, New Orleans Pelicans versus Sacramento Kings. If you've been hearing me talk about this Kings team, not my favorite team. I can't stand this team. I really can't stand this team. I think this the new construction of this team with Zach LaVine is just not my favorite. Now, I think it's a good player prop game. I would have been leaning the over before this trade for LaVine and after they got rid of De'Aaron Fox. I've been bringing it up to you guys, so I hope you're listening to me. But the Kings, when they made that head coaching change and added Doug Christie as their head coach, the first 10 games they played with Doug Christie, that they were running up and down the court, man. They were playing at like a top 8 pace in the NBA. Without De'Aaron Fox, when he was out for games, their pace drops below league average. If you're looking last 2 or 3 games since they made that trade just for Zach LaVine, they're playing at like a bottom 8 pace, bottom 6 pace. With DeMar in them, they're just going to be slow now, man. I think the Kings are better when they play fast. Pelicans defense is awful to where this game could still go over. 238 is just a high total, though. I think with how the Kings, with just how slow they're going to be playing, man. I mean, I just think they're going to be playing too slow. Just for example, the Kings against the Timberwolves just the night back scored 116 points. They shot 49% from the field, 42% from 3. Pretty decent shooting game, and still only scored 116. I just don't love this. I just don't love this Kings team right now. So right now, I'm not taking anything Kings related. I really don't want to say I lean the Pelicans, even though I wouldn't be surprised if the Pelicans win outright today. I just wouldn't be surprised. I think this Kings team is going to just drop off a cliff, barely make the play-in. So that's where I'm at with it. But Sabonis, I do lean Sabonis over PRA or Sabonis over points plus assists. That is probably my strongest player prop lean in that game. Don't like Zach LaVine. DeMar, you could still rock with his RA. I think that's still not a bad play. But even then, man, I really think my favorite play is Sabonis over PRA or over points plus assists. That's where I'm at with it. Staying away from everything else. Last game on the board, and this one's going to be a quick one. Utah Jazz versus the LA Clippers. Utah Jazz, big underdogs here, about 15, 16 points at the time of this video. But they are horrible on back-to-backs. 2-5 on back-to-backs against the spread this year. 7-12 and 1 against the spread since 2023, so since the start of last year. I feel like I have a good read on these teams and their injuries. You already know Colin Sexton's out. Jordan Clarkson looks like, I do see Jordan Clarkson is possibly questionable. He did get ruled out yesterday, but is possibly questionable for today. But Lauri Markkanen, man, I can't tell you the last time he's played on a back-to-back. I can't even tell you the last time he's played on a back-to-back. I feel like this man is always out on back-to-backs over the last. He might play on one back-to-back out of every 4 that they play. So I would not be surprised if Lauri Markkanen's ruled out in this game. I would not be surprised if John Collins or Walker Kessler's ruled out in this game. The Jazz just don't play guys on back-to-backs, and I really think they're tanking. So in this spot here, Clippers at home, they should 100% win this game. 100% win this game. If you're liking any player props, rock with it. I think this could be a big blowout, though, because I could see Clippers ruling out some guys. Now, even when the Jazz have ruled out some guys, they still score some points, man. So at 224, I wouldn't be surprised if this game goes over. But also, Clippers at home, their defense is still very good, even though last couple games hasn't been great at home. But I still gotta lean the Clippers here on this big spread. But a game I don't love. But I'm just telling you, watch out for Jazz injuries ruled out late. I'm telling you, it's probably going to happen. That line will probably move a little bit. Some player props will probably move a little bit. So I don't think it's worth locking anything in right now when in about 4 hours, some lines could be bumped down, bumped up. You never know, man. So that's how I'm feeling about this 11-game NBA slate, man. 2 more best bets. We are 6-0 in our last 3 videos, man. Back-to-back sweeps. Let's keep it rolling for this February 8th NBA slate, man. Rudy Gobert, let's continue to be a wagon, and Spurs Magic. Wembanyama go crazy, Paolo go crazy. Both teams shoot great from 3. I'm envisioning the 2-0, man. Drop a like on the video if you guys have made it this far, if you've been tailing any of the plays. Leave a comment if you guys, hey, we're hot right now. Let us know how you're feeling in the comments, man. If you're hyped up, if you're still fading your boy, almost back up 10 units for the year. Let's keep on stacking, man. Hey, I'll see you guys back here tomorrow. Let's go.